Imagine that one day you cannot remember the name of a loved one or suddenly forget your way to a familiar place. It seems like a small thing, but it is these failures that can be the first signs of a serious disease that gradually takes away memories and destroys personality. Alzheimer's disease is not just a weak memory, it is a severe challenge for both the person and those around them. In this video, you'll learn about the early warning signs that are important to spot in time and understand why you need to act now. Watch the video to the end. It will be very useful information. So here we go. On our channel, we talk about dementia and everything you need to know. So subscribe to keep up to date. Unnoticeable memory lapses? Alzheimer's disease usually starts with subtle lapses that can easily be explained by fatigue or age-related changes. First of all, memory suffers. The person begins to forget where they put their keys or why they went into another room. It looks like harmless absent-mindedness, but studies show that such small failures are associated with the first changes in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for the formation and storage of new memories. At this stage, it often feels like information is literally slipping out of your head, and attempts to reconstruct events end in confusion and bewilderment. When familiar tasks become difficult. Another sign of Alzheimer's is difficulty in planning and completing familiar tasks. Things that used to be done almost automatically are suddenly confusing. A person may forget how to prepare a familiar dish or not understand how to fill out a simple receipt. Neurobiologists attribute this to a decrease in the activity of the frontal lobes responsible for analytical thinking and the ability to perform logical operations. These failures can gradually accumulate, creating additional stress and preventing you from living at your normal pace. Speech difficulties. Problems with memory and logic often go hand in hand with difficulties in communication. A person may take a long time to find the right word and conversations become shorter due to frequent pauses. Specialists point out that early speech disorders are an important signal of cognitive problems. The speed of perception decreases. It is more difficult to build meaning chains. Sometimes there is a fear of looking clumsy, which causes the person to avoid communication or substitute a forgotten phrase with simpler speech. Changes in mood and behavior. Sharp irritability for no apparent reason, a rapid change from joy to apathy or vice versa. Another manifestation of the early stage of Alzheimer's. Studies show that the disease affects not only memory, but also those areas of the brain that are responsible for controlling emotions. This can lead to a loss of interest in former hobbies, avoidance of meeting friends, and a need for solitude. Those close to the person often notice that the person has difficulty responding to familiar things and prefers to stay at home without socializing. Problems navigating time and space. Finally, unexpected difficulty in orienting oneself becomes an important cause for concern. The person may mix up dates or forget what month or year it is. On a familiar route, there are situations when the choice of road becomes difficult or not clear at all. According to the World Health Organization, it is sudden disorientation that most often prompts people to seek medical advice in the early stages of Alzheimer's. The earlier such disruptions are noticed, the better the chances of slowing the progression of the disease and preserving quality of life. Difficulties in decision-making. Sometimes a person cannot choose between two familiar options, for example, what food to buy or where to go for a walk. Even the simplest decision suddenly turns into a long thought process. Scientific works indicate that with the onset of Alzheimer's disease, decreases the activity of the parts of the brain responsible for risk assessment and choice of behavioral strategies. As a result, insecurity increases and small everyday tasks begin to seem overwhelming. Problems with coordination and fine motor skills. If a person used to calmly cope with tying shoelaces or peeling vegetables, now these activities are difficult. This is due to disorders in the areas of the brain responsible for motor skills and precise hand movements. Decreased coordination can be seen in the most familiar activities, from pouring tea to typing on the phone. Unusual changes in the sense of smell. Some studies show that Alzheimer's patients may have trouble identifying odors, and in relatively early stages. Sometimes people don't smell pungent aromas, or conversely, suddenly start complaining about an odor that no one else can smell. Scientists suggest that this is due to damage in the olfactory pathways, which are among the first parts of the brain to degenerate. Sleep disorders. A portion of patients experience a sudden increase in the need for sleep, or, on the contrary, constant awakenings in the middle of the night. Many begin to fall asleep at inconvenient times, for example, during the day, while talking. This is due to malfunctions in the so-called biological clock, the brain systems that regulate sleep and wake cycles. In addition, fatigue is exacerbated by the fact that the body is trying to compensate for the deterioration of cognitive functions. Constant repetition of questions and stories. A person may unknowingly tell the same thing several times in a short period of time without remembering that they have already shared this information. This applies not only to memories from the past, but also to everyday moments. Do you know where my cell phone is? And the same question 10 minutes later. Such behavior is due to failures in short-term memory and the inability to fix new information in the head, because of which each repetition, for him, sounds like a thought voiced for the first time. Have you ever experienced this kind of cueing behavior? Write in the comments, share your thoughts with us, watch other videos on our channel. Here we discuss everything you need to know about dementia. It's a very relevant issue nowadays. And if you enjoyed this video, then put a like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on our other videos.